Hello and welcome to the Leeds App Podcast. I'm James and I'm with Rocco Dean.
Hello.
And Dara Cunningham.
Hello there.
My favourite Irishman. Lovely stuff. We are champions. We said it might happen, didn't we, a week ago? I can't believe it was a week ago. Flipping heck, it feels about 9 moons ago. I'm exhausted, and I'm sure you two are, but we'll get into all that first. Special thanks to Bass & Bligh, sponsor of the podcast, at 6 Beulah Street in Harrogate, bassandbligh.com. They are purveyors of high-quality used cameras and binoculars. They sell the very best from Swarovski, Zeiss. They are binocular manufacturers. Nikon, Canon, Fuji, Sony.
Leica.
What else?
Pentax.
Oh, that's your favourite. I forgot about it.
I was leaving it for him.
They sell loads of used gear. So if you're just looking to get into your photography or bird watching or whatever, or looking at football teams at a fence, then you are more than welcome to go speak to Justin and the team at Bass & Bligh, who are big Leeds fans and will treat you well. So that's bassandbligh.com.
Champions again, ole ole. Champions again, ole ole. Champions
Where on earth
again.
do you start?
Well, I mean, we're recording just after the parade. We've been in Leeds today. Rocco, you were there with your son. I was there with my family. Just an amazing day, but obviously that's jumping way ahead in the narrative. So I think we need to rewind back to after the Bristol game. More, I guess, a starting point for me in my notes actually was the footage on, when was it? It was Sunday night, wasn't it? Sunday night? No. God, what day is it?
They played on
It's
Saturday,
Monday.
so it was Friday night.
It was Friday night. The footage of Eddie Gray in the dancing around, singing, starting marching on together in the bar down in Plymouth. It was great scenes, seeing all the Leeds fans there, and we were hoping there wasn't going to be well, I don't know whether hope's the right word, but we were hoping there wasn't going to be a repeat of Bournemouth from all those years ago, and having to do a public apology for trashing their sorry little town. But none of that. Leeds fans were in good chorus and well behaved as always.
Looked amazing, didn't it? I was pretty jealous, actually. I never seriously thought about going down. I'm not really sure why now.
Yeah, I thought that.
Really
as well.
feel like I really missed out. I think because I knew I wouldn't get a ticket or whatever, and I don't know. I just settled. But yeah, it looked absolutely brilliant. And yeah, obviously the match was perfect in the end. But just being there and celebrating with the fans all weekend must have been a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, there's something about Eddie Gray and his connection with Leeds. I mean, there's nobody else who's really just dedicated their entire life to Leeds United, and Eddie Gray has. And I even said it on Twitter/X, whatever you want to call it. There's something about whenever he gets Leedsy, I just well up. I just get full of emotion, like seeing him, what Leeds means to him and what he means to Leeds. And for him to just stand there and just start singing March On together, I just got really emotional. I was like, come on, lads, we've got to finish this tomorrow now. Come on.
It's funny when you're younger, you don't appreciate the older generation as much, do you? But now we're sort of a bit older, you really see what they've done for the club and how much, like having someone that's been there through generation and generation of Leeds players and Leeds fans is so important. Like, it really does paint the picture of how big the club is and what an impact on so many lives it's had, and generationally how good we were at that point, and someone's still here to talk about it and inspire the next lot as well. So yeah, I love Eddie, and we'll talk about that again because he was spotted again today, wasn't he, on one of the buses. So my friend Matthew was in Plymouth. I say friend Matthew, we mentioned last week on the podcast as well, but he's home and away season ticket holder, and he was down in Plymouth for the game, and he was in the hotel with his little boy going up for breakfast, and all the other players, well, a bunch of the other players were in the lift with him at the same time on the morning of the game as well. Typical Matthew. I said, what did you say to him? He's like, just nodded. Just approving nod.
Did not take the opportunity when the lift said going up to turn around and be like, that's for you, lads.
Should have definitely done that. So I think he had a great start to the day there. I think nerves were probably kicking in. Dan James, Strauch, Firpo were spotted in the crowd in the away end as well, which was brilliant. A few supporters of other teams attacked us in our messages saying, "Oh, look at them sitting down in the away end," which I thought was quite funny. Anyway, and then the football started, and we didn't look ourselves.
No, I must have said about 15 times it's going to be one of those days, but no, we're too good for that. We don't have one of those days anymore, do we? But it was, I don't know. Do you know what? Like, people were so convinced we were going to win that it made me feel like we're probably not going to win. So yeah, when that one went in off Byram, I was certainly fearing the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a slow start, all right. It was very Leedsy, but I think it just goes to show that, like, a lot of people were saying before the match, like, the title's a bonus. It doesn't really matter. The main objective has been.
Did matter to me.
It
God.
really mattered. It really, really mattered. If people think the title didn't matter, then they don't really understand sport, because there's no players or athletes or anyone out there in the world who wants to sacrifice what they have to sacrifice throughout a whole season, and it is blood, sweat, and tears over a really long period of time, and to be one game away from it and not do it when it's in your own hands, like, that would be devastating. So 100% it matters, and those players go down in history now as champions for Leeds United, title winners for Leeds United. There's not many people who can say that. So I think just that kind of filtered through, and you could see it in the performance. It was a bit nervy. And then, of course, you're looking at Burnley as well, thinking, well, we might only need a draw here. And obviously, Burnley went a goal down and then quickly got that back. We went a goal down, I wouldn't say deservedly, because they didn't have any good chances, but then neither did we at that stage. It was a bit of a lackluster performance.
I think it was like 80% possession to us in the first half versus their 20, wasn't it? And we had a stupid amount of shots. And the goal just felt so Leedsy. And I think it was the fear kicked in of, oh my God, like, this is the old Leeds. Like, this isn't the Leeds that we've had for the last 5 games that have been on this epic run of form. So, I was not feeling so good. We were all out in a bar as well. We managed to find a bar with a bunch of other Leeds fans locally to where we were. I was out for my wife's birthday again with another group of friends. Honestly, she celebrates her birthday like it's an Indian wedding, but the length of time it goes on for. And yeah, so, but we also had to organise going somewhere else as well, like part way through the game. So, but yeah, I mean, the game we did start to get into it. We were starting to get more of a stronghold in it, and we did have a disallowed goal, which seems to be a common thing for us this season. Offside goals being disallowed that aren't offsides. We would have smashed our goal difference had we had that not been the case. Not goal difference. We would have smashed the 100 goal record if that wasn't the case.
I'd like to stand up for the linesmen.
Oh, here we go.
The poor officials. Well, the thing I would say is, like, people say it's clearly onside, and it is with the still picture. Like, in full motion, it's still a hard decision. He was right on the line. He timed his run perfectly. And, 3 wrongly disallowed goals, or is it 4 now? It is 4, isn't it? But, like, we're constantly doing those attacks, like with the overlap, pushing the last line of the defence. We must do it, or try and do it 20 times a match. So, yeah, they're going to get a few wrong. But it is annoying that it always seems to happen when we score.
So they're not going to get it wrong next season.
I was about to say, I wouldn't worry about it. We won't be getting it wrong next season.
Oh, that's what I was going to say as well. People calling for VAR because of our disallowed goals. Look what it meant. Absolutely nothing apart from the 100 goals thing. We won the league anyway, so it was irrelevant. So we'd have had to spend all season standing around, not celebrating goals, all that downtime, 10 minutes added time every second half for nothing because we won the league anyway.
I have to say, I can back you up on that, because I was joking about VAR, to be honest. I don't watch a lot of other football other than Leeds, because I just love Leeds and no one else. But I stuck on Brighton yesterday. I think they were playing, was it Spurs? Or West Ham, maybe? West Ham? Can't remember who they were playing. Brighton were playing. Anyway, no, it was Newcastle. I stuck it on. And it was 82nd minute when I stuck it on. I watched about 3 passes, and then Harvey Barnes got taken down. And then there was a penalty. No, then there was a free kick. Then there was a penalty. And all that, by the time that was finished, it was the 89th minute. So in 7 minutes, I think I saw them kick the ball 4 times. No, 5 times.
Yeah.
Like, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's rubbish. So we started to get a few more chances on goal. We were putting pressure on, and then Solomon and Willie came up with a good straight ball into the box. Solomon's just been... I mean, to be fair, in that game, he was doubled up on a lot, and I just thought he's not going to get any space in this match. He's not going to be able to do anything. And then he obviously made a great cross. That goal that we've scored a number of times this season, almost Bielsa-esque, is it?
Yeah, almost. Yeah. I'd like to also praise the referee for this goal.
Oh, here we go. What's wrong with you today?
No, so Ampadu went down like pretending to be injured, and like a lot of refs would have stopped the game, but he made us play on, and we scored from that attack. So if it have pampered to Ampadu's wishes, we wouldn't have equalised. Might not have won the league.
Pampadu. That's so childish. Champadu. There we go.
We get
Ooh,
on to him
nice.
and his celebrations.
Yeah. And do we just skip to the goal? That's what we want to get to, don't we?
But when it comes to the goal, like Willie, you have to talk about Willie Nanto and what he's contributed since Dan James got injured. I mean, he's really stepped up, and to the point where Dan James, obviously fans player of the year, which I'm sure we'll come to later on, and a lot of people's choice for overall EFL championship player of the season. And Willie Nanto has made us not miss him. He scored against Stoke, scored against Bristol, scored yesterday, and got the assist. And that was a good assist against Solomon. I'll come to that in a second. But yeah, Johnny on the spot, Willie Nanto was there to score a vital goal for us. What a player, what a guy. And apparently it is massive, according to Ethan Ampadu. His talent, that is.
That's what you call it.
Dear. Yeah. Well, let's talk about the goal. So I had left the venue whilst it in like the 89th minute, and I got it up on my phone, and I was walking from one venue to the other, and I was just glued to it. People were just holding my arm as we walked across traffic because I was just watching it on my phone. And we got to know where we were. I saw a ball in from someone, which Darry, you mentioned the ball from Neonto to Solomon. Solomon picks it up, dances round a couple of players, wrong foots them, takes an early shot, so the keeper's got no chance. And the euphoria, the moment. It's like how much do you dream of a late winner to win the title? Like you dream of it. I've dreamt of it for years, haven't you? And even in your even when you're playing football as a kid in the playground or on the field, you do it. You enact those moments, don't you? And God, to see it actually happen to us, win a title in the 91st minute, yeah. And Solomon, I don't know how he kept all his clothes on. It did feel like he was going to de-keg himself at one point as well, didn't it? The celebrations were absolutely amazing, and God, yeah, what a moment! It was emotional.
Would you get a double booking? Would you get a yellow for taking your shirt off and then a yellow for your shorts? I don't know.
Quite possibly.
It was no. Do you know the thing about the title for me? Like I have been sort of. I've always felt indifferent. Whether we win the league, just basically going up was the important thing. But then, like I think back to Bournemouth, and when I think about that game, like it was before my time, but that has got such an important place in the history of the club, and it's never about promotion. It's about, the fact that it won us the league. And that's what made me really realise that, how much it does matter. So, yeah, unbelievable moment when it went in. And I think, like, because we've sort of in the end, like the promotion games, like we won them so easily, like the Stoke game. I mean, it was amazing because we went 5-0 up in the first half, but it did take a bit of the, it was a bit of the anticlimax, wasn't it, really, like for the rest of the match. But yeah, none of that this time. It was absolutely, euphoric.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I have to be honest, I'm not sure I was convinced it was coming. Like we were knocking on the door, but they had 10 men behind the ball. They were there to spoil the party. I thought it was actually really bizarre of them. Their last home game in the championship before relegation, and they're playing for a draw just to piss us off. I mean, that to me was just odd. They should have been playing for a win for their own fans to leave on a high. So that kind of annoyed me. But I wasn't convinced it was coming. And I think that ball from Nanto into Solomon, like let's not underestimate that, because if that's hit an inch to the wrong side, then that defender gets a leg on it and it never gets to Solomon. But because he lunged at it and it was so perfect, they put him out of play, so he can't now engage Solomon. And that's when Solomon went, right, now is the chance. It was like I've been watching Avengers with my 2-year-old all weekend because he's mad into the Hulk, and it was like that moment in Avengers where Doctor Strange puts up his finger and goes, "This is the one chance. This is your one chance, 1 in 14 million chance to change the outcome here." And that was it. Like Solomon just knew, right, I have to do it now, and he just drove in, and he didn't beat a couple of players. He only beat one player. He went in,
Yeah.
he took it past one player, and then he shot it straight into the bottom corner. There was no hanging around. He was like, "This is the chance. I have to take it now." It's like the stuff of fairy tales, to be quite honest. Like, I jumped up, ran out of the sitting room, out the back garden, dancing around the back garden, couldn't believe it, picked up my son, thrown him in the air, came back in, 2-year-old screaming, crying in the kitchen, "Daddy, what's wrong? Why are you shouting?" Guilt set in immediately, had to explain to him it was a good thing, brought him back, showed him the TV, and then you've all seen the videos, so he got into it. But yeah, I had to explain to him. He spent the rest of the day going, "Go Leeds," like this. But yeah, absolutely, like, scenes, absolutely
It's amazing.
scenes. And actually lovely for me as well, because as much as you wish you're at the games, to actually share that with my 2-year-old son, who genuinely got it. He got, like, that you can scream out of a celebration. It was the first time that had ever come to him. That was actually a moment I won't forget on a personal level.
It's amazing. It's amazing what football can do. And one thing that came to me actually after the game, I was just sort of mulling it all over in my mind, as you do. And do you remember was it Chelsea and Man United that season who really tore into Gerrard for the slip, and they lost the title? And I thought, are Burnley going to do this? Would Burnley have done this for Solomon? Slipping, and he lost the ball at home, and they went in and scored the winner against us. That would have been the difference between the two sides. That result, and for Solomon to actually be the one to deny them of that with the late goal is just poetic. It's like this stuff doesn't happen to Leeds, but it has happened to Leeds on this occasion. So I was so happy for him.
You know what though? It was our Aguero moment.
It was, yeah.
It was absolutely our Aguero moment. I remember where I was watching that, and your jaw kind of hits the floor. Especially that was funny, extra funny, because you see Scum celebrating at Old Trafford. They think they've won it, and I'm dying to see some footage of Burnley fans, like, probably celebrating, and then the news filtered through that Leeds had scored.
They don't know how to use the camera phones, do they, in Burnley?
Well, yeah, we should definitely touch on Burnley, because that was so bizarre. Have you seen the footage after the match where they've got Natasha Bedingfield on the pitch singing Unwritten, and they're all dancing around when they've just lost the league? And, like, if you watch the highlights of the game, the third goal that they scored, I think Leeds had just scored. I'm not even sure, but, like, the fans barely even celebrate it. Like, they don't even stand up hardly when they get the third goal. So obviously they're completely deflated, and then the players are dancing around the pitch singing with Natasha Bedingfield, and then in the changing room afterwards. Yeah, it made it all the more sweet that we won it, and yeah, they looked even more stupid, really.
Look, we have Belly Goulding and Scary Spice, so you can thank Natasha Bedingfield.
Yeah, exactly that. And yeah, the scenes at the end, just relief from a lot of the players. I think Joe Rodon initially sort of fell to the floor, didn't he, and then realised what happened and bolted over to the away end. And the scenes behind the goal were just amazing. And
so beautiful.
Yeah, it is so good. I'm so glad this has happened. It's amazing. To finish, I know everyone's talked about this, but to finish on 100 points, both teams, and to one of us not win the league is absolutely staggering. And we deserve it. We've been the better side all season. Burnley had a run of like 7-0-0s, didn't they, at one point, or something stupid. It was just boring, and obviously they bought more to get goals in the side in the January transfer window, but overall we've been better across the entire season. It's fractional, but we were, and we totally deserve it.
Yeah, 100%. I like Burnley, 100 points, 2 defeats, like 3 goals conceded or whatever it was. And you could even say, in the 2 games against us, they got what they were after, 2 clean sheets, and one of the games they got the goal and they beat us. But there's just no way that they're a better team than us. They're not. They're absolutely not. We saw it in the games, even though we only got 1 point off them. We saw the better team was Leeds. And, when you throw in the Meslier stuff, granted, he's our goalkeeper, he's part of the team. But then also there's like the Leeds syndrome of like every single team, we're the cup final for them. Burnley don't have that. For us to get 100 points and to hold off that Burnley team that got 100 points and all the records that they broke is even more remarkable.
Yeah, credit to Burnley. They pushed us all the way, and particularly at the end, they held their nerve and they just kept winning, which isn't easy to do, as we've seen. We joked about this after Luton. I listened back to that Luton podcast for a different reason a few weeks ago, and I think I said we could go the rest of the season winning every game. And we all laughed. And I don't think any of us thought that was possible. And we have. We've won every single game since then. And Burnley have matched us. Burnley have, just about matched us all the way. So, look, credit to them. But ultimate credit to Daniel Farke. As I said, Simon Jordan said it a while ago, whoever manager keeps it cool will be the one to lead him through. There's no one better than the Iceman, Daniel Farke, fire beast that he might be. Look, I've criticised Farke. I still feel legitimately it's always been about football and stuff, but I've always maintained that he will lead us to the promised land. He will get us promoted, and we will be promoted through him. In fact, I think it was after the Luton game. I think it was only myself and Joe Wayman were saying, "Give it a week, we'll be back in the top two." So I've never lost faith, but I'd absolutely love him now. Like, now that he's gotten us across the line, I think all doubt has been dispelled. Even like, I think someone was saying something about his substitutions today. If we're in the Premier League, he's going to have to start making different substitutions, not waiting for the 70th minute every time. And I actually replied, I actually used to think the same, but he's completely proved me wrong, because his substitutes have had incredible impact this season. So for everything he's done, for rebuilding the squad at the start of last season, for rebuilding the squad again this season, for squeezing every last drop out of every player in the squad, for proving me wrong and everyone else wrong when we thought that he's getting it wrong, to put that all together and see it through to that incredible winning run at the end of the season, where, as you say, Rocco, it's far harder for Leeds than anyone else, because everyone wants to spoil the Leeds party. What a guy. Up there now for me, and top 3 managers of my lifetime. Absolutely love Daniel Farke. I can't wait to see what he's going to do with his team now in the Premier League next season. Super excited.
Okay, you sent a reply to Berron, didn't you, about the squad? Because I think, did Berron say something like that Leeds have got the best squad in the league, and it feels like a bit of a throwaway comment, because it's like we've just been given this squad handed on a plate, and you obviously replied. And I think a lot of people sort of stepped in with you with comments as well.
Yeah. He said, like, he was talking about getting 100 points. Like, he had the best squad, but it's not easy to get 100 points. And so yeah, he was standing up for Farke. But yeah, it just annoys me. Like, he had the best squad. Like, he made that squad. Like, he picked the players, he developed the players. Yeah, I thought, I just didn't felt harsh to just say he had the best squad, because it's just such an easy throw. Like, it's not like Man City situation, is it?
No. Well,
and he's had to rebuild the squad as well, from losing 3 of his best players.
In his first summer, was the one game where we had Meslier, Byram, Strauch, Cresswell, Ayling, Archie Gray, Ampadu, Dan James, Pervader, Shackleton, and Joffe. So, that's a complete rebuild in a lot of instances. So, and he did it under extreme pressure, not knowing the financial situation of the club, the stupid loan clauses at the start of it all as well. So yeah, he's steered it impeccably. And Parag Marate obviously brought the trophy out onto the pitch and gave it a kiss and waved to the Leeds fans, and did the good quiet thing, like the owner thing of being a bit, not like Radrazani, where he'd get the microphone and talk to everyone for hours. He, just quietly did his thing. But he did call in his interview, he called Farke a force, and that's what he is. And I think you have to be to manage Leeds United. You need someone like that. I don't think anyone can do this job. It's a really tough, pressurized job. A lot more than others, I would say.
Yeah. The other thing as well, like you said before as well, we've probably all said, like, there's more to management than just tactics. So, all these little things that people pick up on that they think that, is why we should get a better manager than Farke. It's not just about that. Farke has so much more to his overall, rounded ability to manage Leeds United. And a bit like what you said, Dara, about Rothwell, like some players, the shirt just fits them, and they can produce their best. Well, Farke's produced his best at Leeds, there's no doubt about it. So yeah, for a championship team to go in the Premier League and then think that Daniel Farke's not good enough for them, to me, seems unfathomable. So thankfully that's not the case.
Well, there's 2 things that stick out in my mind. And look, we'll do a season review. We go into a bit more detail, but there's 2 things that stick out in my mind that are not football, well, on the pitch related, that have come to full fruition for Daniel Farke right now. And the first one is the Willie Nanto situation and how he handled that in his first season. and what Nanto has done for us in this run in terms of scoring goals to lead us. We would have still got promotion without Nanto, but we won the league very much as partly because of Willie Nanto with his goals and contributions. But the other one, and the best thing he's done all season, again, wasn't on the pitch. It was when he came out after Luton and said, "I am certain we are going to get promoted this season," because that sent a message back to those players about leadership and what the manager saw in those performances and how we were going to turn it back on. And forget about whatever happened on the pitch. That moment was genius, and that was in a press conference. And that is the sign of a good Leeds manager.
I slagged him off for that, and I would like to rescind those comments, to be fair. I think, winning the last 6 games, he stuck his neck out, and you can only say that it worked. So I think he took a risk, definitely. I think it was definitely a big risk, but he obviously saw that was the time to do something risky.
How we were feeling at that moment in time, none of us thought this would happen. I did not see us going on and winning this volume of games and just playing the way we did, particularly in the sort of latter part of this run as well. And yeah, fair play. Like, he knows how to manage that group of players. He knows them inside out, doesn't he, really? So he knows what he has to say to them. So who are we to judge what is the right or wrong thing to say?
Yeah, if Alex Ferguson says that, then, it's probably talked about for the next 20 years. Obviously it's a championship. It doesn't get the same exposure. But yeah, like Dara said, that's a genius move when you look back at it and what's happened since.
Yeah, and I think the Leeds players have just been partying ever since that moment. The content in the run up to, well, even the Player of the Year awards, which was last night in Leeds, the content was great. Even all the players on the plane, like Dan James taking over the whatever it is, the intercom, getting chants going on the plane. Just brilliant.
Singing for Junior Firpo, wasn't he? It was brilliant. Great to see.
Brilliant.
Great to see kind of lads you'd think are quieter leading these kind of celebrations. Like, you expect it from Ramazani and the likes of that. But like, see Dan James, I never thought Dan James would be into that. And you see the video of him dancing in the changing room as well. Dude, brilliant. It's great to see. Like, there's clearly a huge camaraderie there amongst them. I've just loved the content. I don't think I've spoken to anyone for 2 days. Just had my phone just flicking through like all brilliant. The content. It's so good.
That's brilliant. I think it's obviously players now are so well media trained and coached into talking in a certain way and behaving in a certain way, and everything that we've seen in the run up has been professional, and it's been professional because they have to stay focused, like they want to win the title. But these moments where the guard comes down and you see them all, this really matters because there's such a difference in ways of life to a footballer to the average person who pays 30-40 quid that goes to a game. It's expensive for people to go, and more often than not people sling mud at them for just earning a lot of money, but they're human beings, and when you see them in this environment enjoying it and you can enjoy it with them, it's so good. You just see that they just love playing for the club and they want to win stuff and they just want to be with their mates. They're exactly like we would be when we were 20 plus. So yeah.
They must be they will be absolutely shattered tomorrow. I am completely drained and I've not done half the partying that they've been doing.
Well, and they played football as well.
Yeah. Flight down to Plymouth and back.
Exactly.
God.
I dare say they'll go off on some very nice holidays now and some luxury villas and
there we go.
Get pampered, which is exactly what they deserve.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see, speaking of context, have you seen like just some few weird ones which are really good and worth to mention? Have you seen the one with Gilavogi on the airplane, and he has his jersey signed by all the players? So I've zoomed in on it here. I actually have it in front of me. And one is, "I love you, my granddad." Best Mario Kart player. Well, it's the best human I've ever met.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Jossie, it's been a pleasure. Goat. My brother, leader, legend. Like, he's clearly had a huge impact on that team. Like, they're lovely words for people to say for him. And he's actually said it's the best title he's ever won in his career. So, yeah, no, fair play to him as well. Again, genius move by Farke, bringing him in. He looked at a lot of players over that period of time. He picked the right one. Maybe not for the pitch, but definitely for the dressing room.
Yeah, definitely. And so then they got back and they had the Player of the Year awards at the Pavilion at Ellen Road, which had been before. It was expensive this year, £200 again it was for a ticket. And Player of the Year, Ao Tanaka which tells you a lot, doesn't it? There's some great players in that side, and they've all voted for Tanaka, and what a bargain. What more do we say?
We've said a lot, haven't we, already, over the
Yeah.
past 9 months. I'm delighted that he won it, and I think it speaks volumes, yeah. I think the Players' Player of the Year, for me, is the one that matters. His teammates value him the highest. Just shows what a signing it was, and yeah, such a funny game, football, because, Gruev and Ampadu got those injuries. Like, if they'd have stayed fit all season, it's not unfathomable. Like, we wouldn't have really seen him, but yeah, he ends up coming into the team after 2 or 3 months, was it? And yeah, just a superb player. So yeah, I am excited to see him next season. Yeah, like all the players, I don't know how it's going to go really, but I want to see them given a chance, and he will get his chance surely.
Stuart Dallas, actually, in an interview yesterday I saw, was contemplating their ability to keep hold of him, in that someone could come in with a big offer. So I hope he's wrong on that front. I can't imagine that happen. Surely we keep him for the season. But yeah, no, I think I was delighted, even as such a big Dan James fan, I was delighted to see Tanaka win that, and then for James to pick up the Fans Player of the Year, I think is wonderful as well, because whilst there's professional appreciation from your own peers, which is probably more what you're after, I do think that being coming from scum and having a very difficult start to his career at Leeds, and probably, shunned and pushed to the side maybe, and thought of as not good enough by a lot of the fans, for him to come back and get that recognition from the fans for everything he's done over the last few seasons. Scott was perfect, like for him and Tanaka to walk away with the 2 awards. If only there was a third one to give to Joe Rodon, I think that would have just capped it off for me. But obviously Tanaka won a goal of the season as well. But yeah, they're the three standout players for me this season, and I think we got it right in the end between the fans and the players.
Yeah, definitely. We'll probably pick up some more of this when we kind of do a season review. I don't want to get into transfers and worrying about Tanaka, but what I will say is he costs us not a lot, so they'll make a lot of money out of him if they sell him that we can inject back into the team. God, no, I don't want to go down that path. PSR, I don't want to talk about it.
We can keep him. That's the thing. Now that we're in the Premier League, we can keep him.
But can we?
Yes, we can.
I hope so. Great. So, yeah, they had the Player of the Year awards last night. Do you think they just stayed out drinking and then got on the buses this morning to the parade in Leeds?
Seems that way. They're still in. It seems like they're still in their kits from Saturday. They actually got changed.
They've not been home.
Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it?
I'm sure Rodon had grass stains on his shorts.
I think Ampadu might have been out since Saturday. Judging by some of the stuff he said today, like there was some good borderline stuff today.
What I'm waiting for is, the tweet from the club that is the corner flag, and it says club statement, and it says Ethan Ampadu.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll have words with him, to be fair. But yeah, let's just celebrate.
Very much led the celebrations, didn't he?
So we got to City Square at about, I think it's about 11 o'clock this morning, and it was getting busy then. And it was obviously packed. Everyone's seen the footage on social media and on the news, and it was just so busy. But when we left, I watched the rest of it on YouTube. And Dari, you probably watched a load of it on YouTube. And Ethan Ampadu, I don't know if you've seen it yet, Rocco, and you should probably watch it, but the stuff he does is so funny. Like, there's people trying to interview him on the bus, and he just cuts them off and just starts boozing and chanting off the side. It's like, it's exactly what you want to see. You don't want it, this is the point I was making earlier about him. All season he's been level-headed, like, we've got to focus on the next game and win the title. Now it's all out the window. He's like, I'm celebrating. Oh, I just love it. It's so good.
Some of that even started on the pitch, because while they were singing the Willie Nunto song, he ran over and pulled down his shorts. Yeah. And I was like, of all the players to do that, I wasn't expecting Ampadu to do it.
Oh, it's so good. He's already become, well, in the space of a day, he's become a cult hero, I think. So for this episode artwork, actually, it's going to be a photo from, I think it's Harry Chapman H. Yeah, it is Harry _ Chapman 17 on Twitter. Thanks ever so much for it. It's a cracking photo that you managed to take of Ampadu hanging off the side of the bus. So thank you.
Yeah, there could be an Ampadu compilation. If anyone else there wants to make one, I'd love to watch it on repeat about 1,000 times. You get 1,000 hits out of me. But like, we had a few Ampadu moments. So we had his Bogle song. There's a star man playing on the right. His name is Jaden Bogle, and he's effing dynamite.
Well, that's what's funny is he was like happy to swear on some stuff and then say flipping when he
Yeah, he
was
said
like
flipping there.
singing.
He had the Nanto one, and then at the end he goes, it is massive. And then the worst one of all is when he started telling the crowd that Junior Firpo was going to Betis. And you can hear
I heard
Firpo in the
that.
background saying, "Don't say that. You shouldn't be saying that." It's like, Jesus.
It's just like, what a way to announce that kind of thing. It's like it feels less like I don't feel as emotional now. It's just like, all right, fine.
Fair enough. Thanks.
If who's happy with that, I'm happy with that. But yeah, the scenes were amazing. What was it like for you, Rocco?
Amazing. Yeah. Went through with Alessandro, and it's been quite a couple of weeks for him. So, like, well, I don't even know if I've spoke about this because the Harrogate podcast, well, they're the lost tapes, aren't they? We never published them, but like, so he's like a massive Harrogate Town fan. He's 5 years old.
Hang on. So if anyone new is watching or listening to this, we recently started doing this on YouTube, but we've been in audio since 2019. Rocco's son Alessandro, 5 years old, big Harrogate Town fan. Rocco's trying to convert him to Leeds, although I think Alessandro's doing a better job converting him to Harrogate.
Yeah, you could say that. So obviously I took him to the Middlesbrough game, and that was a good start. He was quite happy that Leeds won. But then after watching the highlights and the celebrations after the last home game against Bristol City, I've caught him like watching Leeds highlights on his own, which I've never seen before. And then all the way home tonight, he was like singing Leeds songs. I think he's practically there now, so that's great. But it was just amazing scenes, isn't it? You know, we've not seen anything like this for 33 years, and yeah, God, let's hope it's not that time again.
I went to the parade at Harrogate Town when
I did as well
when they went up to League Two, and I made a comment about this today. It's like you compare those two, like the bus going past Betty's, and an old ladies eating their flipping fat rascals and fond and fancies in the window to smoke grenades, basically just not being able to see in Leeds. When the bus came past, I was there was tears pouring out my eyes because I just couldn't see, just all the smoke in them.
Like Gruev.
Yeah, exactly like that. Yeah.
Did you see the video of Ramazani catching the flares?
Yeah, that was amazing.
Unbelievable. I said at the start of this pod, I said months ago that he's one of these guys who could probably do anything because like he's somebody with backflips and stuff. But like the coordination to catch 3 of them, no problem. Good throws as well, by the way, lads. Whoever threw them, good throws. But Jesus Christ, like Melier couldn't do that. No offense. I don't even mean that in a bad way.
You definitely do. Yeah, I think he's got a vibe, hasn't he, Ramazani? He's sort of my spirit animal. He's like, if I was 20, that's how I'd want to be, even though I know I would never have been that cool. He's way cooler than me. What a guy. And some great moments. Even Daniel Farke doing some air DJing on the bus as well. It was just quality. It was such a good day. It was so good.
I was wondering, like, why is there 3 buses? But then, like, there were so many people. It was so great to see. Like, Paul Reaney was absolutely loving it.
Yeah, and Eddie as well.
Yeah, Eddie obviously there as well. Was the initial plan for them to do 2 laps? I think that is the case, was it not? I don't know. Like, we were up at the hedgerow. And like we were waiting for about an hour, and like, you know, we could see on our phones, we were sort of watching it as it was happening, and like the bus was still miles from us, so we just ended up just walking down the hedgerow, like trying to basically catch up with the bus, because it was a long old wait in the end.
Yeah, it was scenes, wasn't it?
You know, as well, you mentioned it there, Rocco. It's the first time in 33 years we've had that. And don't want to bring the mood down, but it was really sad as well that like Bielsa never got that and his players never got that. And the connection we had with him and those players. So I was actually delighted to see Pascal wearing both of his medals today, because obviously he was celebrating for that one as well. I mean, for him, Melier and Bamford to have achieved 2 league titles with Leeds is brilliant. But yeah, I think it just, as brilliant as today was, you do feel a little bit that likes of Dallas, Click, Ayling, Cooper were a bit shortchanged at COVID.
They missed out on a massive moment for their careers, didn't they? And you got to feel sorry for them. The achievement that they made was huge. You know, no one had done that before them. The squad wasn't an amazing squad, but Bielsa managed to make them all step up a huge notch. And and they all continue to thank Bielsa for their careers that they've had since then as well. And yeah, it's a real shame. I was hoping there would have been a 4th bus that just sort of sped up and they were all on it. Would have been great, wouldn't it? But not to be. phenomenal day. I've been yawning my head off. You'll probably see this if you're watching the video. I'm absolutely shattered now. And
I feel ill. I feel completely and utterly drained.
it's like the last few days have just been so exhausting, haven't they? But yeah, like you'll never ever forget it. It was amazing.
What I will say is that as we wrap up our last pod of the season, as we come to an end, it's been the perfect end to a season, hasn't it? Because we had the same kind of Bielsa promotion moment where it was done at Burnley. So the players got the exact same thing down the steps and outside the East End that Bielsa's team got, and the fans got to actually enjoy that again, even again, and more fans. Then we had the celebration all day against Bristol and the show the players put on, absolutely dominant. And we celebrate. Let's be honest, we celebrated that like we'd won the league. That was a title winning celebration and a promotion celebration all into one. And then to go down to Plymouth away, like the Wilco team, but to do it with it wasn't the last kick of the game, but like the last minute when it looked like we weren't going to do it, when Burnley were winning and we had to score, and to score that goal the last minute, it's just perfect. When you put those three things together, it's just perfect. What a perfect ending to a perfect season.
It would have been boring doing it at a canter, wouldn't it? You want these moments so it feels even better. The last week has felt incredible. Like amazing being a Leeds fan. We've had some tough years, a lot of tough years, extended tough years. So to have this is incredible. Feels good. Feels very good today. Anything else before we go? Or are we all shattered? We're all done, aren't we?
I've got two things, actually.
Oh, go on. It's normally Dara. Go on, Rocco.
Yeah. Smash a like and hit the subscribe button.
Here he is. Here he is.
What about that?
Well, get us to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. That would be awesome.
Yeah, as Rocco's done it, I don't have to do the awkwardness now. But yeah, we're 700 odd subscribers. So yeah, smash a like, hit a subscribe. That's not what you say, is it? By the way, I bumped into, you mentioned Joe. I bumped into Joe Wyman in the train station. I had a chat with him earlier. So Joe, I know you listen. Our listeners watch just Joe on YouTube. Let's be honest, and he's our captain in the Yorkshire Roses for the Creators Cup. We are playing a charity football match in July. So we'll put some things on social over the next few weeks about that, and you can buy tickets and come watch us. Come watch us three in defence, letting ex-pros in and score loads of goals. What more could you want? But yeah, Joe, great to see you, mate. And listen, thanks everyone so much for the last few weeks this season. Yeah, someone said to me the other day, "Oh, it'd be great. You'll get some more listeners in the Premier League." And my point was, to be honest, like we'd do this anyway. We would do this if we were in League One. You know, this is sort of our weird therapy for processing things that happen at this football club. So yeah, just thanks for listening. Thanks for all the comments and talking to us about stuff and sharing your thoughts and worries and hopes and fears with us. It's great, and it's Leeds fans are amazing. So yeah, we'll be back really soon. You know, I think we're going to remain active during the pre-season. So yeah, we'll have some good, interesting episodes coming up, I think. So stay tuned, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks a lot, champions.